Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Sa Umar, and I'll be guiding you through the Module 8 of Communication in English. That is Information and Communication Technology in Modern Language. Now, the module contains 6 different subtopics: the concept of ICT, ICT devices, language lab, language learning software and applications, language games, and computer authors. Now, the concept of information and communication technology. Simply put, as you can see from your screen, it refers to the technologies which provide access to information and facilitate communication. Simply put, these can include your internet, your wireless networks, your cell phones, your computers, and all other mediums of communication. Now, there are other definitions, as you can see there, from UNESCO and from also HEPATAL. For instance, HEPATAL defines ICT as the diverse set of technological tools and resources used to communicate and to create, disseminate, store, and manage information. So all those technologies that are used in the process of creating, in the process of sharing, that are meant to create, to share, to store, and to manage information are what we refer to as information and communication technologies. Now, at its core, it's a combination of two things: information technology and communication technology. Communication technology is the computers. Information technology refers to the use of computers, the storage networks, the software, to process, to store, to protect, to retrieve data or information. So all those technologies that you use in the process of creating or storing or protecting or retrieving data are what we call information technology. Now, the technologies we use to transmit this information are what we refer to as communication technology. For instance, messaging, text messaging or email, videos on Skype, on WhatsApp, on the social media generally, such as platforms such as the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and what have you. Those are what we call communication technologies. The application of ICT. ICT is applied in various facets of human life or human endeavors like education, banking and finance, business communication, healthcare, and government issues. But for the purpose of this particular course, we are concerned with ICT in education. ICT is widely used in the process of teaching and learning. It is used to, 1, enhance the process of teaching and learning through the use of digital classrooms, for example, or digital material in classrooms such as smart boards, projectors, multimedia presentations that will help to sort of enhance the process of teaching and learning. Again, learning could be enhanced using ICTs such as online learning platforms like the Google Classroom, the Moodle that you are using now for this particular course, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, which is a sort of meeting platform where you can interact, or even Google Meet, which is also similar to Zoom. It allows you to have remote classroom interaction, so you don't have to be all gathered into a physical classroom. Again, interactive sessions such as topic content simulations or animations or games, all these are ICT tools that can be used in the process of teaching and learning. Then again, internet resources and e-libraries, you can use them to access textbooks and other information material for your learning process, for your assignments and the like. Generally, multimedia presentations. All right, so Now, ICT devices. What are the devices that we use what are the information communication technologies that we can use, particularly in the process of teaching and learning? A computer, which is obviously we all know what a computer is, but then by way of definition, it is an electronics device that processes data and performs tasks according to a set of instructions. So you use what we call programs. For example, the Microsoft Office, which has Microsoft Word, which is a program, and you also have Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint. You have programs such as Adobe Reader, for instance, that you can use to read PDF, and also browsing programs like Chrome, Google Chrome, Opera Mini, and what have you. So these are what are contained in a computer. It is used to store, retrieve, and process information quickly and accurately. Again, there's a digital camera, which is also an electronics device, but it is meant to capture and store photographs and videos in digital format, so you can keep them also in a computer, or in a memory card on your smartphone, or within the memory of your smartphone. So rather than using traditional film in the traditional camera that we know that was used long ago, but now we have what we call digital cameras. There's also an interactive whiteboard, or IWB, which is a touch sensitive screen that works with a computer and a projector, and it displays content, like for instance content that has to do with your learning. For instance, if you are learning English, it may display vocabulary words, for instance, or words from a particular register, for example, or it may display so the interactive whiteboard, it allows you as a user to write, you can draw, you can move objects around, you can control the applications that are in the computer, which has been projected on the whiteboard. You can use your finger, or what we call a stylus, or a special kind of pen meant for that purpose. Similarly, there's also a tape recorder, which is also an electronic device. It is used to record and play back sound using a magnetic tape as the storage medium. Now, previously it was used as a means of recording music, voices, interviews, radio programs, and what have you, but now we have what we call digital audio, which is more popular. But for this tape recorder, you can use it in the language, in the process of learning a language, especially in mastering your speaking skills of the language. You can record and play back and listen to yourself, make corrections, and record again. These are some of the pictures of the ICT devices we have cited. The tape recorder is there, the white interactive whiteboard is there, you can see the students there using it, and then there's the digital camera, and of course the computer, which is the laptop here. There's also a desktop computer. Now, the language laboratory. What is a language laboratory? This is a specialized classroom, specifically or purposely fitted out with technology that will assist you in the process of teaching and learning language. So it gives students that are learning a particular language, it doesn't have to be English, it could be any language, the opportunity to practice their language skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Using interactive and audio visual tools. When we say interactive tools, we are referring to the tools that are used in sort of back and forth between you and the language instructor. Like for instance, we've just cited the tape recorder. It's an interactive tool because you can use it to record your speaking skill, and then the instructor will listen to it and give you feedback using the same medium. And also there's the audiovisual tools, which say for instance the computer, in which you can also record, and there will be also a visual of whatever it is that is being taught. This is an example of a language lab, as you can see there. Now, the components of a language lab. A language lab has two major components, the hardware and the software. The hardware are the concrete materials that are placed in the language lab for use, like the seating for students and the language instructors, the microphones, the headphones, the computers, the projectors, the speakers, digital recorders, network routers, whatever it is that you use that is concrete, that is touchable, you can see it, are what we call the hardware. And then we have the software, which include applications and tools that are there on computers that you can use in the process of teaching and learning. For instance, quizzes and test software, already recorded voice, which could be the voice of an instructor, for instance, that has been pre-recorded, and it instructs you on topics like, say, for instance, stress and intonation in the process of teaching English language. And all of the other tools that you can use in the process of organizing and storing content, learning content, or teaching and learning content. Now, there are 4 different types of language laboratories. We have the conventional or analog library, which is the traditional one, which uses tape recorders and other audio equipment. We have long since passed that era. Now we have other types of languages which are more technologically advanced. For instance, the multimedia language lab, it uses videos, it uses animations, it uses interactive lessons between the teacher or language instructor and the learners. We also have what we call a computerized language lab or a computer assisted language lab, CAL. This uses computers and learning software which are now available, or language learning software, specific software that are specifically meant for the teaching and learning of language skills such as speaking, reading, listening, and what have you. Then we also have the web-based language lab, which utilizes internet databases. So the materials are already there on the internet, and everything can take place remotely. The student does not necessarily have to come into a physical classroom. You can learn and interact with the language instructor or other students, language learners, via your smartphones, your tablets, your computers, and what have you. So essentially it is a mobile language lab. You can use it from anywhere you are in the world. As long as there's internet access, you're good to go. What are the benefits of language learning? It enhances speaking and listening skills, which are in fact, it helps in the development of language skills generally, but specifically speaking and listening. And it encourages you as a student to learn independently, because, for instance, with the use of recordings now, you can listen to pre-recorded material on, say, for instance, speaking skills, and then you can also practice speaking, play back, and make your correction. Then which leads us to the idea of it providing instant self-evaluation. It allows for self-correction, ensuring that learning truly takes place. So you can evaluate yourself, listen to yourself, look at it critically, look at the correct answers, compare them to your own answers, and then you can make your corrections. Instant self-evaluation. Again, it allows for one-on-one interaction, especially when you're using a remote library or a web-based library. You can easily interact with your instructor one-on-one, and he or she can help you through your language learning journey. Now it makes it more appealing and efficient, obviously, since you are now you can use it right from the comfort of your own bedroom, on your own bed. You can learn it, and of course the appeal comes from you choosing the method you want to use in the process of learning. Now, the next point, or the next on the discussion subtopic, is the language learning software and applications, which are digital tools. They are especially meant to help learners master a new language through interactive methods such as digital games, quizzes, audio material, speech recognition, and many more. Now, these tools you can access via your computer, your smartphones, your tablets, and you can often use them in a personalized manner, as I have discussed in the web-based language. You can use it in your own pace and learn the language. Therefore, it is very flexible. So, for example, some of the tools or software include, for instance, Duolingo, which is a digital application, and also they have a website learners use to learn new languages through interactive lessons, games, and practice on a daily basis. So you have interactive lessons where you can communicate with the instructors one-on-one, or communicate with the instructors back and forth. You provide your input, they correct for you. Also, you can use games on the same application or on the same website, and also you can practice your language learning material on a daily basis. It offers more than 40 languages, or rather 40 languages across the world, which include English, Arabic, French, Swahili, and the like. There's also Rosetta Stone, which is a language learning software and application also. It is a software and also an app. It is designed to teach new languages. So this one, it uses what we call immersion method. Learners are exposed directly to the target language. You are not given translations of the words or sentences of the target language. You are immersed directly into the language and you learn by association. Okay? So it focuses on helping learners to develop speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills without necessarily relying on translation, which is believed to hinder the process of learning languages. Thirdly, there is what we call LinkQ, which is also a language app, and it has a website. It also uses immersive reading and listening to real-world content. So here you are introduced to the target language through real-life content like magazine or newspaper articles, podcasts, online stories. They help you to build your vocabulary and your comprehension skills using real-life authentic materials. Okay, so that is that. There's also HelloTalk and Tandem, which are also social language learning platforms. They allow you to interact with native speakers to practice the language through maybe text messages, voice messages, audio calls, video chats, and what have you. Now, we also have language learning games. Now, there are also interactive activities intended to help you as a learner to practice and improve language skills in a fun and interactive and engaging way. They will help you in developing different language skills like grammar, like your vocabulary will improve your listening skills, speaking skills, writing skills. They essentially ensure that you learn in a process which is enjoyable and hopefully very effective. And here we are. We have examples. We have Scrabble. We have the Pictionary. We have Bingo, Hangman, Word Cookies. They are all games. For instance, Pictionary is a drawing and guessing game. One player draws a picture representing a particular word or phrase, and the other players try to guess what it is. So you can use it to learn vocabulary, to build your vocabulary, to build your creative thinking, and also to practice quick word recall. There's also Bingo. Players have a card filled with words. We know that there's a bingo game filled with a card filled with numbers, but here in the language learning game, it is a card filled with words instead of numbers. And as the teacher or the leader that can be selected from the students calls out a word, players mark them. So the first to complete a particular row, column, or a diagonal shouts bingo. So it is used in also developing vocabulary, grammar, and also listening skills. So those are some examples of the language learning games. Now, a computer author, or you can, for short, you can say a compu author. Now, a computer author is a person or a software that is used to create content using a computer. Specifically in language learning, it is usually someone who uses certain software within a computer to write stories, essays, poems, and other creative works in a specific language. So computer programs such as Microsoft Word, Google Docs, story writing software, and AI especially, you can use AI. It will help you. You can describe a story, for instance, that you want to tell, and AI will provide you with better use of the language, and you can substitute some of your entries with the ones provided by AI so that it can be more appealing, so to speak. Then also interactive language tool, which you can also refer to AI as an interactive because you provide it with a query and it gives you feedback. Then also language learning platforms that support writing practices on the internet. You find platforms that support writing practice where you can you can engage in poetry, for instance, or other forms of creative writing. Now, the computer author digital tools are important because they encourage the digital tools I've suggested, like MS Word and Google Docs. They're important because, one, they encourage the development of writing skills using these tools. They will help you as a learner to organize, to edit, and to publish your work using those tools. So they are often used in classroom to promote creativity and literacy. So that brings us to the end of the lesson, and I look forward to our online interaction during the lectures. Thank you very much for listening.